All right, let's warm up. Let's do warm up with like a couple minute warm up.
Do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Not that kind of warm up, dude.
Do re mi fa sol la ti do. I couldn't hold it, but I nailed it. I think.
I think you nailed it.
Can you go higher, Christina Aguilera? Do re mi fa.
No, that was close though. Hello and welcome to 8-Bit Dad. I am Brian Ferguson.
And I'm Zach Rosenberg. 8-Bit Dad is the modern dad's guide to news, reviews, and fatherly opinions, updated daily at 8bitdad.com. And on the show, every week, we talk about some of the top stories that we've had on the site.
That's right. We are the founding fathers of 8-Bit Dad, and we help aggregate parenthood news from across the web and include our own personal stories of damnation, I want to say.
And not a lot of triumph anymore.
Not a lot of triumph. It's probably more suited towards,
We saw our days of triumph at this point.
Yes.
We've peaked, and
we're downhill. It's all downhill from here. That's all I got for that.
It's good enough.
Yeah.
If you want to see us triumph and you have a story for us, you can feel free to submit it to us, and we like to read them. So you can email them to us at dads@8bitdad.com. I think it's
down there somewhere, yes. And you can also follow us on Twitter.
And like us on Facebook.
There you go.
And follow us at all three, I guess.
Whatever floats your boat. Whatever.
If you want to follow that,
yeah. If you
then
don't want,
start clicking the buttons.
Right. But yeah, we're pressed for time. We don't want to do a 59-minute show like we did last week.
We literally ran out of tape. Not even tape, digital.
Not even. We don't even have tape. It's just all digital.
Digital. We ran out of digits.
Clips. We
we ran out of ones and zeros.
Yes. But yeah, we got to keep it short because you have to go somewhere.
I got to leave.
Where are you going to go?
We're going to go see Blue Man Group.
I'm not. You
I'm
are.
doing it for my wife. My wife and I are going to see him, and
okay. You don't care for the Blue Men's?
I don't know. I've been seeing their videos on the 3DS. Like, the 3DS is like a video channel. And they've been putting a lot of, Blue Man Group content on there.
What made
I don't know
you
why,
decide
just
to go,
maybe because it's 3D or something.
What made you decide to go see him?
My parents-in-law have tickets, like season tickets to the
thing?
The local Civic Arts Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want to go. Shocker. And neither do I. But the wife wants to go, and I love my wife, so I will go. And maybe it'll be a great show, full of a bunch of blue guys with their eyes wide open, going, hitting pipes.
You don't watch South Park, do you?
No.
There was a nice episode of Randy's Stan's father, and he goes to these plays to get, and we'll bleep this out. He goes to plays, and just to get.
That's where you get him.
Out of his wife, because she's so enamored with being at the musical. Or
there's a couple I've turned down. I don't remember which ones it was, but
yeah, he went to Cats. The Book of Mormon.
I want to say that I didn't go. I opted out of Lion King, which was actually supposed to be really, really good.
All of them are supposed to be really good. Like Spider-Man is supposed to be pretty good now.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, Spider-Man the musical. After they worked out all those kinks.
That's not my Spider-Man. The Spider-Man I know and love does not sing.
Well, he may, in quiet times.
I guess there's a market for everything.
Yes. So, yeah.
So no 59-minute show.
No 59. We're going to cut it short.
We're 4 minutes in,
yes.
So we're burning daylight already.
Right.
So, I don't know, what we got next?
Oh, I wanted to talk about this whole Babble thing.
Oh, the Babble.
The
Babble group dad blogs.
What is going on?
Another
with
list
that?
we can't make. Babble.
Are we not on the radar? Are we like completely
We're evidently not on
in
the
the
radar.
Bermuda Triangle of web blogs or
I
something?
might blame myself because I think I've.
Do we have to like submit ourselves and present ourselves like a
I don't know. It
like
sure
one of those
seems like
16-year-old pageantries where you
And nothing against any of the other dad blogs.
or
I mean,
16-year-old
You know what? Here,
pageantry?
I'll take it as a compliment because we're not officially a blog.
We're
blogs are
a
personal-
news aggregator first and foremost, I think.
Yeah, I think we're a fatherhood news site.
And we give props to dad bloggers.
So maybe if they,
maybe we're a competition for Babble.
I don't know.
And maybe that's why they just secretly want to keep us.
I definitely don't think that's it, but
That's why they keep.
I don't think we're on. I just don't think we're on their radar. Somehow.
We're not. We're actually not.
Well, whatever it is, Babble. God damn it.
That's all we got.
God damn it.
God damn it.
So once again, we had a podcast question of the week.
As we
up,
do always.
As we do every week.
Every week,
except for 1 week.
except for one.
And this week was wildly unpopular. Despite my picture of Tom Hanks.
With a
As the
nice
header
caption
image.
of Raffle.
Raffle. And the question this week was, do you buy your kids inappropriately aged toys or age-inappropriate toys for your kids? Which I think a lot of people did. I thought this was going to be like a real big, like, I don't know what that was, like a red flag, maybe? Flag, a sandbag. Meat to the wolves. I guess that's what that would be. Meat to the wolves.
Yeah, you do that.
You don't do that.
You don't do that.
That's
You
like
just,
that's the flag. That's the meat.
That's too threatening.
Yeah.
You want to kind of just
Fling it out there.
Yeah.
So I thought it was going to be a slam dunk. Now that I went completely away from both of those.
Well, you know, what are your thoughts on this? Like,
I
do you
I think
look at the labels and say like, okay,
I do. I look at
he's
them.
in this age range, like between 1 and 5.
I think I
or
usually
whatever
look at the
age range.
labels to see what I don't want to buy them.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I mean, I always feel like whenever I see things that are in he's technically in that 18 to 36 month range.
Mm-hmm.
But
Do they still go by months or is by years?
well, they do
after-
until 2 years usually. But because 18 months is within 2 years and 36 is not,
Yeah.
then they still go to 18 to 36.
I just don't like counting.
The 18 to 36 month range is like maybe 18 months. It's like
Because you have to multiply it by 12.
it's baby shit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I've been the guy that's bought his kids like wildly. My kid, not having more, but
That you know of.
that I know of. But I bought him like a Transformer last week.
What's the age range on that?
It's got to be like 6 years and up.
5 or 6, yeah.
I mean, he's clearly my kid's too young for it.
He didn't get
And
it.
Transformers suck now anyway.
Do they really?
Yeah,
I haven't played it with them since I was
since the
a
years where
young
they were
lad.
die-cast metal.
Yeah.
And like awesome. Now they suck. And since Galvatron was or Megatron was like a handgun,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Now he's like a big spiny thing that's supposed to look menacing, and you're like, no, he was menacing when he was a handgun.
Yeah. You know what my
You
favorite
pick him up
toy
and
was
bang, you're
when I was
dead.
a kid? Was Voltron.
Oh yeah.
One of my top favorite toys was the Voltron that came together to form the big robot with all the cats.
Yeah.
And it had like the red, green, the white, the black, the
Yellow.
yellow, and the orange. I think it was.
Was it red orange?
I don't know. There was like 6 of them or something like that made up the head, the body.
The cod piece.
Yeah, the cod piece. You can't forget the cod piece. That's the most important part of the Voltron,
It's the part that makes it work.
right?
Like all big cats.
But it was metal, and I remember,
Yeah.
it being really bulky and really heavy, and I'm like,
And
yes,
burly, yeah, and
this
you
is
felt
awesome.
powerful.
I felt like a real man
Not so
when I
much
was
now.
like 4.
Yeah,
But,
this Transformer that I bought was like, it's plastic, it's crap, and the rear view mirrors on the car are like rubber. Sucks, man. That's not my Transformer.
Well, there's.
But I wish I kept mine.
Yeah, me too. I
'Cause
wish
that was like-
I wish I kept a lot of toys from my
Yeah, totally.
my kids. Except I wasn't thinking when I was like 8.
Yeah, no one ever does.
You never
Like
think
when
you're
I sold
gonna
all
be
my
a father
Nintendo
when you're
games.
8. Yeah, exactly. But we had a couple responses for the age-inappropriate toys.
I had one guy from on Twitter who just answered me. He just basically replied to my tweet.
Just now?
No.
Oh,
I mean, yes, because we're that popular.
yeah.
It was
we're doing the show live, and he just responded.
He saw it was on, and he's like, God, I gotta get my vote in. It was actually the editor of Man of the House. I don't know his name, but whoever the editor of Man of the House is.
We'll find out, and we'll put it.
We'll find out
in this next thing.
He just said yes most of the time.
Yes.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. He just said yes.
Cool.
So Man of the House. Yes. They're, I think, owned by Procter & Gamble.
Procter & Gamble.
I'll get back to that later. It'll all make sense later.
Who does Procter & Gamble own?
They own Tide.
Oh. Well, don't we have something to talk about?
We'll get back to that later.
Single-ish mom wrote, I definitely have bought some toys for my son that were older than him. He's 18 months, and she probably, has a couple of 3+ toys.
Totally.
For this little dude. Nothing with tiny parts, but things that he can still enjoy, like a Magna Doodle. I'm not really sure why that's aged 3+ anyways.
Probably because of the magnets.
Probably because of the magnets.
Because when babies are little, they still have metal in their heads. And it just wears off after 3 years.
Well, that typically happens for most babies, but I'm still affected by microwaves.
Like one of those guys that, like, when the Wi-Fi turns on, you're like, I don't know why I got a headache. Is there Wi-Fi in here?
But what is a Magna Doodle? Like, is that just like a thing that just?
It's that like
drawing thing.
Yeah, it's that drawing board where you like use the magnet things to draw on it, and it like.
Oh right, okay. So it's a magnet. It's like a magnet pen, or thing that you hold and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got like shapes and stuff on there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember.
Actually, now that we're talking about it, I think I want to buy my kid one too.
They used to have a light bright.
They're pretty cool. Oh no, you know what he would do is press too hard on it and do that thing where they break it and it like
well probably
magnetized there.
It's
anymore.
probably 3+ because
3-year-olds won't do that.
Well, the small parts that they write with or whatever.
The magnets that they could swallow.
They could probably swallow those.
Which the CPSC, the Consumer Product Safety Council, stuck it. Had just come out. Had just come out saying that parents this holiday season need to watch for magnets and magnetized toys. Because kids are swallowing magnets. Like right now, it's a real hip thing on like ThinkGeek and other nerd websites to like sell magnets, like sets of like little balls, like 200 little ball magnets, and you can like stick them together and.
I mean,
so
shit, I'm gonna have to
it's like an office toy, and I guess kids are like swallowing them, and they could perforate your colon or something.
Why? Why would they? After the dangers of Lost, I mean, you think that magnets could be, consensually dangerous? Or save lives or kill people.
I think we're just getting closer and closer to giving kids candles again as toys.
Why not?
I don't know when they did, but I'm sure we're going back.
Good for them. Jeff writes, I try my best to adhere to the appropriate age range of toys. My oldest is 2.5, to be precise. So there are some 3-yo toys in the house, but nothing for 5-yos or older.
Yeah.
So
I get it. That's kind of where I'm at.
That's
I think.
I
think that's fair.
It's fair.
It's it's tough because the years have to go with like. The years are all like lawsuit based.
Yeah.
Like they're like it's the company covering their ass for like kids swallowing things or something, and it's all done by a legal team, so it's not necessarily really with your kid in mind as far as like learning and.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that.
I mean, obviously there's some things that you don't want to give a 2-3-year-old. And obviously me giving my kid a Transformer that's like ages 6 and up. In my opinion, it kind of is. Almost more endearing because he makes me transform it for him. Mm-hmm. More endearing and more annoying.
And you kind of get to work together, but it's also like, work for you.
Yeah. Well, I turn the thing into a car and I give it to him. He's like, turn it into a car. I'll like turn it into a car, which is not at all like this. It's like 20 minutes of hard labor, like
and then you got
twisting stuff.
Yeah, it's
and
just like you're back at work.
He's like, make it a robot again. I'm like, oh, kid, if the cameras weren't running, which they aren't usually. But.
They're not, yeah.
So, next up.
Next up.
Thanks for everyone that answered the question this week. All
yes.
3 of you. Hope you come back for next week.
And we did a Facebook poll, and we both answered.
And I just like went at random. I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one.
And we'll just skip that. But
see you next week for that also.
Check our Facebook at facebook.com/8bitdad. We'll have polls there occasionally, just like this, that you can...
pretty much weekly.
Yes.
Or maybe not, if you're not good to us. We'll take them away.
The first story. First story, here we go. Daughter trolls dad on TV during Saints game. I was actually watching football
did you see that when it happened live?
Yeah, this is my picture.
Oh, that's yours?
Yeah, I paused it and I was like, I got to take a picture.
You should have watermarked it or something.
What are you going to do?
So now watermark your picture, that's for sure.
Now it's the internet. That's how generous I am. Yeah, this kind of just stuck out for me, is this big blue sign that happened when the Giants were down like by a lot. And but she says, thanks for the seats, Dad, but did you really think we were going to root for the Giants? And
were they playing the Saints, looks like?
Yeah, they were playing the Saints. So obviously this daughter's dad was probably a Giants fan and really into football and taught his kids well, but
not well enough.
Not well enough for her to be in probably New Orleans and living there, probably going to college and
showing her boobs a lot.
Yes, I'm sure she got a lot of beads.
If you have a screenshot of that, then
I don't know. She's probably behind that sign for a reason. But yeah, that was kind of funny. That
was a funny one.
Yeah, I mean, like it didn't make the rounds of the internet, but
maybe it will now.
Maybe
probably won't.
Probably won't. But
submit it to Reddit if you've got an account on Reddit. Submit it. Hype it up.
Go. Yeah. Hype up the sports angle that we rarely use on our site. But yeah, I thought I'd throw it out there for.
You liking that India Pale Ale?
It's not bad.
It's sharp. For me, it's
a little sharp. But yeah, this is the Kirkland signature Kirkland India Pale Ale that we're drinking. It's a handcrafted beer, 12 fluid ounces as opposed to the solid ounces.
It actually says bitterness on the back of it.
Drink.
Like so.
Oh, does it really?
Evidently, it's made to be bitter.
Oh, that's why it's probably sharp. Bitterness. I've never seen bitterness.
Well, slap my face.
All right.
So
next story.
Tide's stay-at-home dad commercial didn't fall on deaf ears.
I'm gonna watch this right now. I haven't watched this yet. So
there's 2 of them.
Which one do you want me to watch? The top one, the short one?
Short one's the short one's good. The bad one's the long one.
Okay, I'm gonna watch the short one first.
Basically, if you haven't seen the commercial yet, let me tell you, the short one is actually really good. It's a 30-second spot. It's been on TV, so you might have seen it on TV. It's a stay-at-home dad. He's wearing like a collared button-down shirt, which is a lot more than I'm wearing right now. And he's just talking about like problem solving and doing laundry and it's funny, you don't even realize, because it's such a sweet commercial, that you don't even realize you're getting sold a product while you're watching it.
Yeah.
And it was really nice. And at the end of the commercial, which you just saw,
yeah,
the daughter walks in and she's like, Daddy, can you braid my hair?
Yeah.
And usually, like in normal commercials, the dad would be like, bitch, I don't know how to do that.
Oh, go ask your mother.
Yeah. Go ask your mother. That sounds like woman's work. That sounds like bitch's work.
I'm going to watch the long version.
But the dad in the commercial, the girl says, Daddy, can you braid my hair? And he says, fishtail or herringbone? And the daughter's like, herringbone. And he says, good call. You're like, it's funny. Like, I like it. It's really, I really appreciated that commercial. The second I saw it, I emailed these people. I went to find the Tide Overlords, which was Procter & Gamble, who owns Man of the House, which we already mentioned. But, so I emailed Procter & Gamble. Someone emailed back and said, okay, let me get you in touch with these people. It was done by Saatchi and Saatchi, which is an ad agency.
Saatchi
and Saatchi.
Saatchi. Hey, Saatchi and Saatchi.
Like Boston. Saatchi and Saatchi. So it was done by That New York ad agency, and they actually got back to me. It took them like a month. They were like phone calls back and forth and emails, and eventually they got back with. I'm gonna butcher the what they actually were. The Saatchi and Saatchi global creative director, Maru Kopelwitz.
Okay.
Romanian name.
I'll buy it.
And who was the other one? The creative director and writer, Laura Malloy, who I think wrote that commercial. I think these two ladies,
right?
No offense. Well, they were. Wrote the commercial. And they were pretty proud of it. You know, and they should have been.
I think
the short one.
I think it's good.
The longer one, everything's wrong with it.
So
which you didn't get a chance to really take it in from there.
I didn't get I noticed that there was no daughter at the end.
No daughter at the end, which really lost points on it for me, because the daughter part was like the best part of the...
I mean, visually, that was what stuck out for me, is that the daughter was different. Like, there's no daughter.
Another visual thing that sticks out to a lot of people, the title cards that come up. And
yeah.
One of them...
Boom.
The first one that comes up says Dad Mom. Because he starts the commercial saying, I'm a dad mom. While my wife's at work all day, I'm home being awesome. The problem is, once you bring up that binary idea of dad mom, and there being like dads and moms, basically what he's saying is laundry is woman's work.
Yeah.
And so he's saying like, well, I'm a dad mom. I'm at home doing woman's work while my wife's out doing man work. That sucks.
Yeah.
Like that's like everything wrong. So I actually asked the Tide people, or the Saatchi and Saatchi people, about that, and they were pretty defensive about saying it. I mean, now these are women that are saying it. I wonder if there were like any men that, or fathers that did take an exception to it. But that Laura Malloy gal, she had said, I don't know where I put the quote.
Oh, for us, it's also about is that what you want right there?
Maybe. It's possible.
It's also about the changing dynamics of household chores. The reality for almost every family we know includes dads who do laundry and moms who make money, and everyone sharing home responsibilities as equally as possible.
Oh yeah, no. Yes, but no.
Okay.
Here's the one I was looking for.
Go for it.
She defended the title of it, Dad Mom, and the whole Dad Mom thing, by saying, we found it a sweet way for the guy to refer to himself, like I call myself a lady writer. Okay, really?
What?
She said the commercial would have worked without it. Sure, it would. I think there's an inherent sexiness to men who raise kids and handle chores. It's enlightened and modern, and women like seeing it. So if we're guilty of anything, and if you say that, that means you're guilty. If we're guilty of anything, it's murder. No, she said if we're guilty of anything, it's objectifying this stay-at-home dad so that women can fantasize about marrying someone like him.
What?
The problem with it is, when you watch that, you're like, good luck with that ass. Like the first guy, I like him. I'd hang out with him.
Right.
Whatever.
And it's the same guy, just
written differently. The guy in the long commercial, no. No woman wants him because he's an asshole. He's arrogant. He's like, and he like insults other dads. He's like, dads really, admire the way I can fold a 4-year-old's clothes with absolute precision. Boom.
Boom.
And you're like, all right, well, you know what?
Fuck you.
Fold this with absolute precision.
Exactly.
So, it was tough. It was tough because the short version is so good. The long version is so bad.
Did they air both, or did they air the
They just aired the short one, because the long one's like 59 seconds or something.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money in commercial time.
Yeah.
But it was
short
up
one's
on
more
the
effective.
website. And it's funny, if you look at the comments on YouTube, I'm not suggesting you actually do it now.
I'm not going to do it.
If you look at the comments on YouTube, the ones on the short version, all positive. The ones on the long version, all negative. And when I say all, I mean in the 90%.
Let's see what the rating is.
I think.
Ooh, we got 9 dislikes and 27 likes.
Tide and Procter and Gamble, I think, are good enough. It was a good enough effort. I think the short version, which was the one that aired, was good enough to make this a good effort, and I think they should be commended. Tide, Procter and Gamble, Saatchi and Saatchi, all the figures that were in the pie.
It's a good try, but
and it really was. It was a good foot to put forwards, because if they put the long version out, there would have been a much more scathing article written.
I like this comment right here for the longer version. It says, "Wow, pretty obnoxious. I'm a stay-at-home dad, not a dad mom. Seriously, Tide. Who is this ad supposed to appeal to?"
And that's the problem with the short version. You're like, oh yeah, this appeals towards dads, because dads look at that guy and they're like, oh yeah, totally cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the short version, and originally the name of the article was like, Tide just made a customer for life.
Yeah.
Because I saw the short version and was like, oh yeah, I'm a customer for life. I'm gonna go and buy that stuff right now.
Yeah.
And then I saw the long version and I was like, ooh, backspace. Yeah. Because I don't know, but I think they should be commended for the short version.
Some of the you got to look at the long version, read the comments. It's pretty hilarious how many people are just like.
And then they start fighting with each other. Like,
yeah,
I mean, there's like people going back and forth.
This is the most offensive commercial I've ever seen. This dude has to be literally. I'll bleep this out too. This because my bleeps are pretty funny. I don't know if you've seen the last few podcasts, but we've had to bleep.
You've been doing
a
some
few.
Pretty,
yeah, it's pretty hilarious. But this dude has to be literally so. And in the other commercial, he's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So
it
just it depends on the writing and.
But thanks to Sachi and Sachi for getting back to me.
Yeah.
Even with my like semi-negative question, where they knew that I was going to light them up to an extent,
and our low scoring dad blog approval by Babble.
Yeah.
Apparently, we are getting through to someone, and it's big corporations.
Well,
so.
and I looked at a lot of other dad blogs about this, and a lot of people said the same thing. Like, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't like missing something.
Yeah, no,
you wasn't like a just kidding title card in there.
You were pretty spot on with that.
So yeah, a lot of the other dad bloggers felt the same way. A lot of them were more unforgiving and saying like, well, because they put the long version out, also, screw them. I'm not going to buy their stuff.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Well,
but thanks to everyone who answered my emails on it and quoted, and it's that kind of attention to the dad community that helps.
Definitely.
Even if you're getting criticized.
Yeah.
When I sent them the link back, which I never heard back from them, I did say,
for the article?
yeah, because they were like, "Oh, let us know when you have it up." And I said, "Okay, well, here you go. It's up." And I said something like, I hope that the criticism is outweighed by the praise, which I really hope it is, because I hope that it doesn't discourage them for like going after dads. I hope that they go after dads even harder and learn from it.
You mean the praise is outweighed by the criticism? You said criticism is outweighed by the praise.
Yeah, outweighed by the praise. Like the
praise right, yeah, I got that backwards.
Heavier than the
shock top. So.
So yeah. Anyway, it was it is what it is. I hope you read it. It's a long article. I talk, me. But
so next story was the Wired's Geek Dad reviews 5 classic best toys of all time.
This one hit us from Justin.
All across the Americas, as it were,
and just
or the world. Yes.
I asked him if he had anything in the works, and he was like, "Yeah, check your site right now. F5, it's up."
Really? So the 5 best toys of all time. Number 1 was a stick. What's brown and sticky? A stick, apparently.
Sticks are like my kid's favorite thing to play with.
I like walking sticks personally. It makes me feel like an elder.
Like Gandalf?
Yes.
Or Raiden?
No, more like Dumbledore. I'm more of a Harry Potter.
I haven't seen any of that stuff. So.
Okay, well, I don't care for the Lord of the Rings, but more Harry Potter than.
Well, what are you gonna do?
To each his own.
Yeah, totally.
You've had pretty success with this next one.
The box?
The box.
It was part of my kid's costume on Halloween.
He was a
especially a FedEx box.
Yeah, he was a UPS man, so.
And boxes really are like the.
It's free, if you get a nice big shipment. Somehow.
I think I mentioned this sort of thing on like the 5 ways.
Yeah, I think you did.
Fatherhood makes you a vagrant type thing, where
I remember that one.
It's basically all just picking out garbage and like doing stuff with the garbage. I mean, like. Totally.
Yeah.
You get a box. If there's a box in your house, it's like gold.
It's like a fort.
It doesn't matter if there's anything in the box. Like, it's better if there's nothing in the box, because they don't have to dump anything out.
Exactly. And it doesn't get all messy.
Yeah.
Number 3 was string.
I remember hoarding that when I was little.
Did you really?
Totally. Like, you'd find string and you're like, I'm going to keep this for something good. And then like 5 years down the line, you're like, I got this box of string and I never did anything with it.
It's also good for cats.
Yeah.
If you have cats, that string comes in handy. We've had this string with my this like drawstring from my wife's like sweatpants.
Negligee?
Oh.
Or sweatpants. Awkward.
What kind of lingerie has strings?
Sexy lingerie?
Well, okay. Well, this was like a legitimate string, like the one pictured right here. I don't think you're gonna find that on anything sexy. Yeah,
my wife sweats twine. The twine that she uses to tie her sweats up.
There's a Simpsons episode where Moe is like in the back of a car. And he's like, "Oh man, my string just came undone." He's got like a string for a belt. Anyways,
so do I.
Number 4 was cardboard tubes.
Yeah, those are also gold.
Yeah.
The toilet paper tubes.
A perfect bat for wiffle
I don't
balls.
throw those things out until they're...
Especially at Christmas
torn to
time.
shreds.
Christmas time is a great way to save, these cardboard tubes that come with the wrapping paper. Because they really come in handy for like a good...
You can make like a ghetto rifle out of them.
You can make a ghetto rifle.
Binoculars.
You can pretend like you're in the hood and you want to beat someone's ass.
If you have a thick enough one and a long enough one, you can make a didgeridoo.
There you go. Yeah. So number 5 was
dirt.
Dirt.
I don't appreciate that one.
You don't like dirt.
I disrespect dirt.
Okay.
Much like
sand.
Mr. Sparkle.
Oh.
Mr. Sparkle.
Who's Mr. Sparkle?
You know, the other Simpsons episode where Homer's the Mr. Sparkle guy. This is like 12 years ago. This is before your time.
How old do you think I am?
Probably the same age as me.
All right. Well, that's when the Simpsons were good, is in the 90s.
Mr. Sparkle time.
Mr. Sparkle. I gotta
Mr.
look that up.
Sparkle. Okay.
All right. Well, there you go. 5 best toys of all time.
Yeah.
And all time, I'm guessing, is because
sticks and dirt have been around
because
forever.
all this stuff has been around forever.
Except for cardboard tubes, which probably have only been around for the last 100 years.
Yeah,
but we'll take
still, we'll take it. Yeah. So next.
They didn't
story.
say those. I'm never going to be able to describe it. Just go
Whatever.
on.
Let's
Next.
just go. Go. You're just.
Oh, is this one mine?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Kentucky father leaves a baby in a shopping cart.
This got a lot of attention on Facebook.
Yeah.
I saw the comments. I don't have it. Let me. You pull it. I'll pull it up while you read.
I don't have anything. But anyway, this this dad in Kentucky was at the grocery store with what grocery store was he at? I know you're asking, and the answer is a Kroger, or on the West Coast, Ralph's.
Kroger. I love that.
Or if you're in Arizona, Fry's. All the same store.
Yes.
So he was at a Kroger, and he had his 3 kids with him, and he loaded up his groceries and drove on home and left his 6-month-old in the cart.
I've seen people do this
in the parking lot.
I've seen people do this with like
their onions, like I did at Costco.
No, not onions. Like at gas stations where they leave the thing,
the nozzle
in the car, and they drive off, and everyone's like, "No, wait!"
My coworker
no.
did that actually.
Did he really?
At yeah, it's right down the street.
But it's like it's like such a mundane task that you kind of just blank out.
I could never blank out with my kid. He's yelling so loud.
But this is with gasoline. I'm not talking about kids. With kids, you have an ultimate responsibility to keep track of their every movement at any given time. Not with a car. A car, is going to fucking be there when it's parked. You don't have an option with a kid where it's in a cart and it could just roll off with a big gust of wind.
Like I said, we left our onions in the cart
Yeah.
at Costco. So
Did you really?
yeah. God, I was pissed. We came home and I was like, the fucking onions! And I had like the mental image of them on the bottom of the cart. That's the kiss of death when you put them on the bottom.
Like your onions are crying in the bottom.
And my wife's like, well, we can call them and go back and get them. And I'm like, I didn't want to go to Costco once on a Saturday, let alone twice.
Costco is
You
insane
want me
on
to
the
go
weekends,
find more
dude.
parking there?
Costco is insane.
Screw you. The onions are like $5. I'll just buy more.
And you
Take
get
that, economy. I'm boosting you up.
But you get like $5 for like 100 of them.
Yeah, totally. And they end up all going bad and growing like
Little
green
baby
things out of
onions.
them.
Yeah.
I haven't decided if the green things that grow out of the top of the onions are bad for you or not.
I don't know. Why don't you try eating them?
I think I have.
Oh.
I think I tried to convince my wife that those were just green onions. And she was like, really? And I was like, yes, of course they are. Don't ask me dumb questions. And got at the kitchen shears and was like, click, 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 click. Enjoy your mashed potatoes.
Oh, God.
So anyway, this dad got like a half a block away. I'm just guessing. It just said he drove off. But
Why does it have to be in Kentucky? I mean, of all places.
It's always got to be in Kentucky. I don't know what other stories we had for Kentucky, but when I typed the tag in, it came up. So we have other Kentucky stories.
Okay.
Maybe I'll check them out because I know the details of this one. But this guy got a couple blocks away and immediately figured it out and then called the police. on his own accord, which is kind of cool. Like, he didn't try to, like, go back and be stealth.
Wait, why did he call the police?
Because he wanted to make sure his kid was safe. So he
Why
called the police.
didn't he just go back? I mean, he was closer than the police.
I don't know. I thought it was actually a good idea to call the cops. Just to... Well, maybe it wasn't, because he ended up getting Child Protective Services involved. But
I would have been like, hey, no, that's not my kid.
Oh, bad news. Okay, so Kentucky's not a great topic.
Yeah, we don't want to...
But...
You don't want to look up Kentucky again.
So there were no charges filed against this guy, and but they did refer it over to social services. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. Whenever dads get involved with social services, it's not a good outcome.
Not pretty.
Even if you are innocent, which this guy was probably not, but they're probably going to look into his home, go to his home and see how he's living.
Find out why this penalty was, was flagged, and or see what else is the root of the problem.
Yeah. Well, and
maybe he was drunk. Maybe he was like, I don't know.
Maybe there was something else. Maybe there's drugs.
It could. You never know.
Man, his wife is kicking his ass now. If she's around.
Yes.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I want to be like, everyone makes mistakes, but that's like one of those mistakes you just don't make. Like you're saying, you could drive off with the gas thing in your car. That's one thing, because you're like, got done doing gas, now let's go. I got other things to do. Mm-hmm. This one, like, your job is to make sure your kids are safe and with you, and at your hip and all that stuff.
This kid was how old? How old was this kid?
6 months old.
6 months?
And he had 2 other kids with him in the car. So he had to, like, put
So
other
his
kids...
2 other kids were probably like, yeah, we got rid of him. All right.
Yeah, like, that's the funny thing, is the other 2 kids weren't even like, you left Derek there. I'm assuming the kid's name was Derek.
It's always a Derek.
I don't know why, but it's Kentucky, so...
Sorry, Derek.
Derek or Clive or something. No, Clive would be England.
But there's no... you don't have anything else to do with the 6-month-old than just make sure that they're going to breathe.
Totally. Like, I mean, in a way...
Like, you don't have to teach them, like, about life yet. It's just like...
It's tough to raise a 6-year-old,
Are you going to be dying anytime soon?
Keep them, around.
And being abducted.
Yeah.
So...
So I really want to say, like... No problem, bro. Everyone makes mistakes, but not this mistake. Not this mistake, my friend.
So anyways, that was the last story that we had.
What's that?
Those are the 4 top stories that we decided to cover for this last week. So any upcoming events? I know I just recorded a YouTube video.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet, but my wife did, and she said she learned a lot about Photoshop.
A little bit, yeah.
Alpha channels and...
Yeah, it's nothing detailed. It's not like
it seems pretty detailed if you're talking about alpha channels. I gotta be honest.
It's not a lynda.com tutorial by any means.
I know Photoshop, and whenever someone talks about alpha channels, I'm like, oh...
Hell no.
Red X. I'm done with this crap.
But it was...
So is it easzy? Is it like...
I think it's easy. I've been using Photoshop for like 15 years.
I saw the picture that you had. I mean, it looks good.
Yeah, it's good, but I'll write a post. Look for it on 8bitdad.com. It's just about how to get the perfect family photo with 2 separate shots. And you must have 3 things. You must have like a pretty decent camera. A tripod is a must to combine 2 different photos, and you must have photo editing software. So
what about one of those remote shutters?
You see, then you're pointing a remote at the thing, and you don't have a lot of time.
What about the foot remote? The one that you stomp on to like get it to...
Well, see, the problem is that I've encountered with little kids is that they don't look at the camera. They don't see anyone else behind the camera, so they're like, why should I pay attention to that thing on a post? Like it doesn't matter to them. If I'm behind the camera and I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get her attention and doing something stupid, she's gonna smile or laugh.
True.
And you don't want a crying baby photo. You don't want like some photo where she's looking away, or he. So this is like a great way for you to capture your daughter or son's attention behind the lens. To have them looking at the camera like as if there was a photographer that they were comfortable with. So I'm gonna talk about that in a post this upcoming week, because a lot of people are going through holiday photos.
Totally.
And because it's December and we got Christmas coming up and holidays.
Yeah. And if I watch your video and I think it's too tough, I'll just post some coupon codes to JCPenney.
Yes.
And then you can just go and have someone else take a picture.
Right. And be sure to write your hate mail to Dads at 8bitdad.com. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do in. Next week.
I actually am excited to watch that because I always like learning more Photoshop stuff.
I have watched tutorials in the past, and I think that some of them are needlessly complicated to achieve some of the stuff. But if you have a topic where it's like, I want to get a perfect family photo. Yeah. I'm gonna go here. And
maybe this time of year, like if someone doesn't want to go and pay to have photos done,
yeah,
because those guys rip you off bad.
Pretty bad.
We've done them, and even with coupons, they rip you off.
Yeah.
So
that's it for this week's episode of 8-Bit Dad.
The Run Into the Ground show.
Right.
And if you want to mention a story to us, if you think we're not mentioning the right stuff, then you can write to us at which way do we read?
I don't know.
Dads at 8bitdad.com.
Yeah, that's probably right.
It's probably right. If it's not, can you just make it work?
Right. I'll reverse it or something.
Reverse it, yeah.
Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/8bitdad.
And also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/8bitdads with an S at the end.
With the S, the all-important S. So that's it for this week's episode of 8-Bit Dad. I'm Brian Ferguson.
And I'm Zach Rosenberg.
And until next time, we never have a good one for... And, maybe I'll give some pointers down the line for other stuff too.
Like,
I don't know.
Photoshopping your unit. That'd be like a pre-fatherhood website thing.
When you're in the big game of life, you got to give yourself every inch.
Preferably 2 or 3.
Yes.
7.
Maybe
You're dealing with what I got.